This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night.
Konnichiwa, bitches. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, here with me. I have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. What's up with you, Mr. Japanese James?
Japanese James. I'm doing good.
Nihon
man.
James. Shout out to Brewhaven.
Oh, he said that shit. That was a good one.
The chat is legendary.
Oh my
always.
god, that was a good one. Yeah, I'm
so
doing
James
good, man.
in Japan.
Yes,
on this.
yes. That's what brought upon the greeting. I didn't know if I should do the Fumi Saito or I was like, you know what? Isn't when Wu-Tang did the racial draft on the Chappelle Show, didn't they say Konnichiwa bitch and Konnichiwa Japanese? Let me use that one. So I decided to just reach to the bag and pull out that old one. But yeah.
Yeah, man. So how is it over there, man?
I mean, you remember the New York trip? It's basically the same weather. It rained out there that when we were in New York that one time, or actually twice, I think. But whatever. It hasn't rained out here, but like basically the same weather. It's in the 40s. It gets to the highs of like the low 50s, and then in the nighttime it gets into the like high 30s. But yeah, man, like it's really cool out here. Like it reminds me a lot of New York, to be honest with you. It's also, the area I'm in is a lot more densely populated. Like compared to like when we were in Queens and having to take that long walk to the bus, like being 2 blocks away from a train station is like totally, it's like night and day. It's so much easier. Haven't had to get on the bus yet. I'm gonna have to get on the bus when I go over to Nagoya. But like basically it's just all train rides. Pretty simple once you get once you get the hang of it. Like they don't do numbers and letters. Like they just do like, this is the name of the station, this is the line you're on, and these are each stop along the routes or whatever else. And like at first I got kind of mixed up on like, all right, you get on this thing and then like like the platform situation, like they don't, like if you look at Google Maps, it tells you it's a platform, but all you see are numbers and you're like, huh, what? Like I end up I think my first time going to not Tokyo Dome, to Corrigan Hall. This is insane complex Tokyo Dome. I end up like just knowing where it was or whatever else, instead of just like following the following the transfer thing that it's telling me on Google. I'm like, why would I go there? I just go to Studio Bashi. It's in that train. All of a sudden I'm saying, we're passing. Oh, I fucked up. Oh, okay. So I got off the bus, off the train immediately, and I had a gentleman help me out, and I was like, Tokyo Dome, and he was like, go back on this one, stupid. And I ended up, getting back right, and I haven't made that.
How many of those situations have you interacted much with the locals?
No, not much. There's not really much reason or need to. I will say this, those that do speak a bit of English, they're more than willing to help you. But if they don't know if they know as much English as I know Japanese, they're not like they're just gonna pretend you don't exist. They'll pretend that you don't exist unless you can give them something concise they can help you with or whatever. It's like the man that helped me. I was like Tokyo Dome or whatever else, and he pointed like take this or take this platform, stupid, and go back. And I was like okay. So yeah, also like the way they like everything, all the signs are in English. So like, you don't get lost. You just like, you might get mixed up or not know I didn't know the platform situation. Like, okay, you get on this line and then you get on, and it's on this platform or whatever else. And then like, it could be on the other side. Like you have to go down the stairs or upstairs and like transfer over to like basically the opposite side. Like if one train's going east west or going east, like the other platform is the same line going west or whatever else. So yeah, like, it's that kind of stuff.
Have you come across, have you had the need to use one of the Japanese toilets yet?
You think I haven't taken a shit over here? Is that what we're doing?
No, I'm saying like the traditional Japanese toilet. Have you come across one of those?
I don't know. What is a Japanese toilet? Like, what do you?
So the one, like with the hole in the ground, like where you gotta like.
No.
The squatter.
No, I have not came across the squatter. I was unaware there was a squatter.
You didn't know about those. All right, keep your eyes open for one of those.
I will.
Yeah, so like
okay, but I do have a toilet story. Okay, so my first night here, and I said I was gonna say this for the show. I had a good ass like culture shock story. So. First night here, it was a long trip. I gotta tell y'all, if y'all got bags, like walking luggage or whatever else, if it's big, if you got more than one, just pay the money to have them ship it ahead. Just pack your bags according to the amount of importance of the stuff you need with you immediately. And if you have a bag that's just like clothes you'll get to in a couple of days, just ship the bag, get it next day, because there's like a cutoff at a certain time. Like you have to have it by 10. You have to get it out by 10 before if you can get it next day in Tokyo. Just pay that money or wait for it next day. If you got to ship it ahead to another town, if you're going to another town, do the same thing. I've learned my lesson, man. I had a backpack on me with my hard drive, my laptop. Trying to think what else was in here. My toiletries, like toothbrush and whatever else. I was too shook of dealing with like carry on or anything in Japan. I didn't bring mouthwash over here. I wanted no smoke. I bought mouthwash. I bought Listerine from here. Like I wasn't gonna go over here like, what's this? Like nope. Like I've heard. Look, prescriptions. I didn't even try to deal with the paperwork and be like, what's this? And be stuck in customs. Didn't deal with none of that. I was like, I'm just gonna bring through what I know is gonna get through, and I have the least amount of static as possible. So. Like I didn't even bring my microphone. I'm using the laptop microphone, and like, so I'm getting to where I'm getting at, and like Google Maps has me lost as fuck once I get off at the station that I'm at right now, and I'm just looking like, because like the train station runs like basically like southwest to northeast. It runs like at a diagonal type of thing, right? But like it's stuck, but it's on a grid of the streets are going north and south, east and west. So I take the wrong. I get off the train and I get off on the station, and I'm supposed to be taking the south station. Google Maps has me go out on the north station. So like I get off and I'm like immediately like, okay, where do I walk or whatever else? So like I keep walking and like my dot keeps moving the wrong way, and then when I like try to orient myself to this new place I'm at, like all of a sudden like I'll be facing towards where the pin is where I need to go to get to my hotel, but like I'm facing it and going backwards or it's all type of stuff. Like
it's all
so
messed up.
Basically like 15 minutes I'm basically like coming out in and out and around each station till I figure out where the fuck I'm going and find the street to just walk. Cause it's literally like if I had took the south station, which they told me not to take it, I could have just made a quick little walk out, make a quick little left, and just walk 2 blocks, and I'm good. But it had me. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me just sit here and deal with some adversity. I'm gonna find out where I'm at. I'm only 3 blocks away at worst, or 4 blocks away at worst from where I'm at. I'm not lost. I just need to figure this out, right? So it took me some time and patience. But at the same time, while this happening, man, I am carrying these 2. I have a backpack on me that's pretty heavy. I also have 2 carry-on luggages that I'm walking with. So I'm looking crazy out here in these streets. I'm just looking crazy, right? So I finally orient myself, finally figure out where I need to go, walk these 2 blocks down, get to my room, pay for my room, get my hotel key, get up here to the 4th floor, get into my room. And then by that time, like, I had been on, quick little flight from Tampa to Atlanta, 2-hour layover, and then, 15-hour trip from Atlanta to Tokyo to Haneda. So by that point in time, I was like, look, I didn't have to use this airplane bathroom except to pee. I'm ready for this, but now it's time to go. It's time to do my thing, man. So I go and sit down on this toilet, and it's a bidet toilet, right? It's one of these new age with controls and whatever else, and like they're easy to understand because also in English. Man, I sat down on this thing. I was like, oh, what's this? It's a heated seat. I expected, it's cold, right? It's cold, right, bro? I'm expecting to sit my ass on some cold porcelain, right? And when it's actually room temp, you weren't expecting that. You like, hold on, bro, what's this? This feels wrong. What's happening? So I sat my ass down on this toilet. It did my thing, man. So, did everything to do. Went to wipe and all that kind of stuff. Trying not to get too graphic. So then came the time to get up, pull my pants up, and put on the belt, go wash my hands, all that kind of stuff. Man, I went to get up, and all of a sudden I heard, I was like, what the fuck is this? I look over my shoulder.
Shit about to shoot that shit back at
bro,
you.
This shit shot up like an instrument stuck up like this. I was like, oh, what's this? Bro. It did that, stopped for half a second, and then proceeded to shoot a jet stream of water, literally to my shoulder length and height. And I ducked out the way like, oh, what's this? Hold on, bro.
This is great.
Like I said, it had the instructions. Bro, I immediately pressed stop on that shit. It shot water. It shot water onto the floor, right onto the tile. And I'm like, man, this is that bullshit. And like, I was just like, what if I hadn't have known what this was? What if I did not know how to stop this? It could have caused fucking flood damage or something crazy. Obviously I would have got some help before, way too early. But before it got to that point. But it would have been, I had to ask somebody to help me. Like the desk is hit or miss on how well the person speaks English at the time, right? I've had people down there at the desk that speak pretty good English. That speak with that basically, I can make my way through conversation by body language or whatever else, right? So. But bro, the main thing I was stuck on was it shot the water and it jumped up to shoulder length and height. And I'm like, bro, would I have been injured had I not like I wasn't braced for that.
I guess we'll never know.
Bro, can you imagine how y'all would have clowned me and be like, yo, man, James out of action for 2-3 weeks with a bruised asshole. Like, what? Like, bro, nah, man. It can't go down like that. Luckily, it didn't go down like that. But your boy, I got trip insurance, and if I gotta go to the hospital for something like a fall or something crazy, lost luggage, missed trip, I'm covered for that. But that's a hell of a story to tell.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to put the show on pause for a couple weeks until you were healthy enough to resume.
Well, first off, you know me. I wouldn't have told you none of this shit that I'm saying. We're taking that one. We're taking that one to the grave. Like,
you did what in Japan? What?
Like, nah, man. The automatic toilet just shot water up my asshole and just injured me. Like, nah, that story's never getting around from James. You'll never. That story's never seen a light of day for anybody. I don't give a damn. No.
So you mentioned Tokyo is much like New York. So
yeah.
When I think about New York, I think of scammers. Has anyone tried to catch, like, in your way of coming out the airport, just walking around, like, have you seen anyone trying to run the scams over there? Has anybody tried to reel you in, with some kind of con?
No, but luckily, I think it's because they know. Or I think it's because, like, I'm a gaijin and they're not trying to waste their time trying to translate the scam over. So, so the other day I was leaving at the station, at the local station, but walked my 2 blocks, and I saw somebody on the street with paperwork in his hand trying to talk to anybody he saw. Trying to get them, it felt like that person that's sitting in the middle of the walkway at the mall, right? Where they just like, hey, what you doing right now? All they trying to do is get you to divert their attention, divert their eyes towards them, and they know that, like, people ain't rude enough to just be like, fuck off, I ain't got time. And
right.
So I saw him do it to 2 people, and then, like, I walked by and he saw me. He just kept it. He didn't even try. I was like, yeah, I don't know the fuck you talk about.
Scammers got to get on their job,
But
anyone dressed like Masahiro Chono, you happen to see anywhere out the corner of your eye or anything? Nah. You being followed like the KGB, like anything?
No, I have yet to see someone
look out
like
for
the Matrix. No, I have not seen that yet.
Okay.
But what I will say is this, man. I have been to Korakuen Hall at this point. Twice? No, 3 times. 3 times. I went to Seedling's year-end show, I went to Oz Academy's year-end show, and I went to Ice Room's year-end show. I've been to Tokyo Dome City Hall for the Glade show, Glade version 4. I've been to Budokan Hall already for the New Year's Day show for Noah. I went to Sumo Hall for Dream Queendom, and let me tell you what I have not experienced yet. I've been in groups with, hundreds of people, groups with thousands of people. I ain't been through one metal detector yet. Also, one thing I've noticed, like, just walking through this heavily populated city, I have not seen very much of any police presence. I haven't seen anybody in a cop car that was a Suburban. I have not seen any militarized vehicles that belong to the Tokyo PD. I ain't seen none of that. I've seen a couple cops, and, like, they low key. You walk by them, and if you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't even have noticed, right? And, like, it's kind of freeing. I gotta say, it's kind of freeing to be able to go into a building with like Somo Hall when there's almost 4,000 people, to go to Budokan Hall and there's nearly 10,000 people, and not have to worry about, like, is someone going to bring a gun here? Do we need metal detectors? And, like, it was funny because, like, I was on a FaceTime, or I was on a basically equivalent of a FaceTime call, like, through Messenger with my mom. And I was walking to the 7-Eleven that's a block away, and she was like, you really, like, looking into your phone, like, your head ain't on a swivel? I was like, well, one, is broad day, and, like, it's just like, I couldn't fully express to her in that moment, is like, this place feels so much. I know what you're saying, Mom, but like this place don't feel like America, where like you can get stuck up at any point if you're not paying attention, called lacking. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure.
Look, they out there.
I'm sure. Sono Ghetto is out here, right? I ain't experienced it yet, but I just gotta say, like, compared to all the times we go to Ybor or Central St. Pete, South St. Pete, whatever else. And it is not even nearly that vibe. Like, it ain't like going into some club, that's downtown Tampa and there's metal detectors. It's not the same thing at all. It was just something to that where it's like, okay, what's the worst thing they're gonna do? Pull a knife? Okay.
we can live with that, right?
Right, like, I mean, like, you know what it is, like, you get stuck up regardless of whatever weapon they got on you. You give it up, or you don't have to scrap it out, or maybe possibly lose your life, right? You know what right. That game is, right? But it is so much more or less fearful that, like, someone has a knife than someone has the blicky.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, that was just one thing.
We got a couple comments. So like, you took that almost utopian society you speaking of, like
I didn't necessarily say that. I just said it's a lot more free. I did not say it's utopian.
The freeing society. The great Okan is keeping the streets of Japan clean. Unagi Sayaka, King of the North, is Unagi Sayaka scaring the people into behaving. Siemens X Nova also says James thinking Japan is sweet until House of Torture rolls up on him.
Those are all good points. I'm not saying it ain't sweet. Like I said, we have not gone to the slums. We are not going to Sono Ghetto, but it's different from the vibes of being in like, let's say, Midtown Manhattan. It just is.
Yeah, man.
Whereas they got cameras everywhere, undercovers everywhere. You know who the undercovers are dressed as, right? In a kind of obvious spot. Like, it's just different. It's just different.
I'm waiting for your eventual trip to the nightclub to hear some of that Japanese drill.
You think I'm going to the nightclub?
I didn't know if you wanted to hear some music while you was out there. So if you do so, hopefully we have some more stories.
Okay, so you sent me. I think you sent me something. And I was like,
yes. Okay.
No, I'm good. No, I don't think I need the nightlife here. I'm sure. Look, I bet there's plenty of it, because I know Shinjuku is like the area where most of them go out there and do their thing. But I don't think I'll be headed out there. Like, I might go to Natsumire's bar, but that's about it. Because I think they serve food, but that's about it.
Yeah, man. Good to hear you're enjoying yourself over there, man. That's it's like. You'll be able to.
He's going into the red light district right now. I bet you are, you freak.
So how's some of the food been over there?
So for example, this is a thing I got. This a peach, strawberry, and whipped cream and custard sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
This is from a 7-Eleven. Like, bro, There are, where I'm at, there is 4 7-Elevens within like 3 or 4 blocks of me. There's 2 Lawsons within 2 blocks of me. There's also Family Mart's, another convenience type of store. Like, there's a Burger King that's at the actual train station I've been talking about throughout this whole thing. There is I found this out yesterday. There's a Pizza Hut on the other side of the station. Like, I'm good here. Like, but I did see at this Pizza Hut, they out here selling pizza and the topping is shrimp. Now
that's different.
It's different. I'm gonna try that bitch eventually. It's gonna happen.
I'd be willing to see.
Yeah, a shrimp pizza. I mean, that could either be great or that could be awful. I'm willing to see how it goes. When in Rome. But like, yeah, mostly here, aside from like my first couple days, I've kind of been like just going to like 7-Eleven or Lawson and buying like salads and stuff to try to not, eat too many carbs things and be like, go to an afternoon show and be, ready to sleep at the show. Like, because look, like when I was watching, because I went to the Glade show just on a whim, right? I ran into, I met a woman out here that shoots for PWI that Floyd linked me with, named Issa. Lovely woman, been nothing but nice and helpful to me. And this was after the Stardom show. We ran into her at the station, and we met up. And like she said, that like she was, she's going to the Glade show. She's working the Glade show. She originally was going to go as a fan, and I was like, shit, I had no idea they're even running a Tokyo Dome City Hall show. That's a cool venue. I've seen it, when Tokyo Pros ran it or whatever else. I'm in. I like, Shima's going to be there. El Lindeman's going to be there. Miyagi from the used to be in Stardom's over there. I'll check them out. Man, they started that show and like the first rematch were like that UWF rule stuff. And it was not the it was not Shuri's UWF. It was not like, Vader's UWF. And that shit was boring. And bro, I was expecting it, and the boy was tired, and I did one of these in that small ass seat. I did one of these shoulder forward or elbow on the other one, and lean forward, and did a couple, and did this at times during the matches. And then once the real wrestling started, then I was able to stay awake. But it was a struggle. Like I was dozing in and out during them UWF matches.
So let's take me through the trip. So it was you started with Seedling, right?
Yeah, first show was hold on. Yeah, first show was Seedling. And they got a nice ticket. Like it looks, got the rest on it, Arisa and Yoshiko and Rico and Amazon on it. So that was cool. So first things first, they had the high speed match with Natsuki Tayo being the high speed ref. So they have the ref spots and the shenanigans and the super fast count. That was fun. Basically every standard high speed match you ever seen in Seedling, aside from like the Sakushi stuff, where like Natsuki is like basically like just cheating for Sakushi because she loves her so much. From there. There was I think it was a trios match or it was a 3-way tag match. I think it was a trios match. They had on one end you and on the other end Ryu Mizunami, and they had a chop fest, and they was killing it, and they were great together. But it was a very good match, or at least a very fun match. Probably give it somewhere between 3.25, 3.5, and then the semi-main event was a trip. Yeah. 1 second.
Donovan Mitchell scored 71 points tonight.
What?
Yes. 71, 11, and 8 on 64% shooting.
Is he the first person to score 70 since Devin Booker?
Yes.
Jesus.
Good God.
How many times have you seen the Shaq I was unfamiliar with your game meme?
I haven't seen it yet, but yeah. That just comes across the time. I just saw 71 points trending.
Holy shit. I gotta see that one. I gotta see the YouTube of that one. That's gonna be fun to see. Look. Remember the Rudy Gay or Donovan Mitchell talk? It's been, he's running up the score on that one. He truly is. But yeah. Wow, 71. Fuck, that's crazy. But yeah, so the semi-main event was actually no. It was a trios match that had Asuka Vinny and her longtime tag partner in Seedling, Makoto, and Mima Shimoda from LCO, All Japan Women's. And they wrestled like Yumiko Hoto, Riko Kawahata, and I can't remember the third person. And like, I've seen Mima on these Seedling shows, and she's more or less just kind of there doing her thing, just there. I don't think I've ever seen her wrestle this hard in Seedling. I don't know what got into her. I don't know if it's because she was able to bring the chair out, and she was actually able to wield the chair, but she fucking cracked Riko in the head with this chair, and man, it was like, I've seen a few of these LCO matches. You know how it goes. It's a fucking, bloody mess. And they're beating the shit out of people, and they're getting the shit beat out of them. But like in that moment, it was like a flashback to her, raking or busting open like Ayaka Hamada or something in Arcean. Like we're just like she threw this chair like she was expecting Rico to gig, and it just that's how hard it was. The sickening thud. It was one of them. Yeah. Like, she had her own chair, like the pink. She had the colored chairs. So she brought her own pink chair. I don't know what year that, what vintage she brought that from out of her, gear of former chairs and stuff. But like, Asuka hits, Rico with one chair and like, it does, the normal, chair thing where like the bottom like pops out, right? When it hits the head, right? And then Mima throws her chair and she throws it the wrong way so the shit don't pop out. And it was just nothing but just CTE-ism. And man, I was like, yikes. But Asuka's team isn't winning. And then the main event was Arisa Nakajima versus Hiroyo Matsumoto for the BTS title. And the last time they had a match, I think it was during the summer. I think it was the anniversary show. They did a high spot where like Hiroyo was supposed to throw Arisa like to the floor from the top rope, and like Arisa got injured. They had to stop the match, right? So they had this match, and man, this was a killer match. I gave this 4.5. You've seen Arisa Nakajima's work. It's just brutal ass beating, shoot head butts, stiff loud strikes, and all that great wrestling in between. And Hiroyo Matsumoto, like this is the best singles match I think I've ever seen her have. And it's one of those things where, like, she has a rep as, like, obviously people know she's talented. People think she's lazy at times, and she's kind of just wrestling the laurels of she's over it. She works a bunch of dates, and she just kind of goes through the motions. Not in this case. Like, this was a very spirited performance. And I thought she was fantastic in the match, and I thought they had a killer match. I saw what JD from Red Leaf Retrocast rated, and I was like, hey, bro, you gotta stop this. This is, I don't know if I think he might just not like people just basically having like these knockdown, throwdown, like in a phone booth type of matches like they have at Ceiling. That might just be his thing. But this match is killer. Keem loved it too. Just to give you an example, he thought it was a quote unquote women's match.
Shout out to Keem.
Yeah, shout out to Keem. But yeah, man, before the show they do the merch, and I end up picking up this Arisa Nakajima Violence Queen shirt. So you'll probably see this on a ONR stream in a couple weeks. But got the shirt from her, told her like started watching Seal in 2019. She's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world, and she was like super happy to hear it or whatever else, and handed over the yen, and she handed me over the shirt, so it was fun. But yeah, man, like it was a fun show. Like fun first show as well with a killer main event. I'm trying to think. The next show was Ice Ribbon the next day, and not Ice Ribbon, but Oz Academy. You know how Oz Academy gets down. Like they had the main event.
Man, went to see Police in person.
Police wasn't there. But
man.
It was. But
Shame.
I mean, they still had Maya Yuki and Sayori Yano with the whips and chains cheating, and then like Akino's friends were helping out and all that kind of stuff. So it was very reminiscent to like all of those main events with like Ozaki in the main event and like the Beast friends and whoever at that particular time in the title match with Ozaki. But the third match or fourth match, basically third from the top anyway, was Maya Yuki and Sayori Yano versus Ryo Mizunami, and I can't remember who the tag team partner was, but like the reason why you ever check out Ice or Oz Academy is like to see what Maya Yuki and Sayori Yano are doing as a tag when they're not with Ozaki, because like they're a really good tag team. They get heat. It's like watching like Black Desire in a way, where it's like really super talented tag team. They're going to cheat or whatever else, but they're going to kind of get that stuff out the way, or they'll use it to tell stories to further get the baby faces, over. And
right.
like it was a really fun match. And then some main event was the tag title match, and it was Hiroyo Matsumoto and Rino Yamashita versus Big U and Chihiro Hashimoto, and they basically were like, let's try to have the best tag match we can have. And I guess in Oz Academy, Rino Yamashita and Hiroyo Matsumoto are like reluctant friends or reluctant tag partners that like tag together because Rina's kind of a goofball, and like they do like this comedy spot based off a Jawbreaker. And like they don't want to do the job. Like Rina wants to do the Jawbreaker even though it hurts. Hiroyo thinks that's fucking stupid because it's fucking stupid. But every time they get desperate, they eventually get Hiroyo convinced to do it, and then they sell. Everybody basically sells like the person they do it to, jaw's broken, and they're like the top of their heads are fucked up. But like they did it a couple times. They didn't overdo it to a point of comedy. But like through all of that, like Hiroyo was on her game. Again, seeing you out there, she's on her game. She's just like an excellent tag wrestler. She's an excellent tag wrestler. Like from seeing that on Ice Ribbon, I'm sorry, to see that on 3 nights in a row, basically, like from Seedling to Stardom to Oz Academy, it was like she's just an excellent tag wrestler. And I'm glad she's in Stardom. I know some people just don't like the Nanai involvement at all, whatever, but like, I hope that doesn't get lost in the part where like, she's having like killer exchanges in closing stretches and tag matches. Like, the final in the tag league when it went down to her and Kamitani was excellent. It's excellent. So yeah, like, it was another excellent match between like 4 people that like, I guess because it's a year-end thing, they all want to bring their A game, and like, they killed it. And like, that Oz Academy show was like packed. Like, this might have been like this had to be over 700 people at Oz, or this had to be closer to 900 people. Like, it was, I mean, they brought the Raptors out or whatever else, or the what do you call it? The North Bleachers out and everything. Like, it was a pretty loaded show. Obviously, Oz Academy, like, they can draw big houses, but like, it's the old timer type. Like, they're kind of like Noah of Joshi, with like Ozaki and Aja Kong or whatever else, and whoever else, like Nakino, like they have older wrestlers. So then the main event was obviously Ozaki in the main event trying to win back the top title. Akino's the champion. They had the match you've seen a million times. This was a better version of that match. I will say this. I told Velkej this. I've seen Ozaki in her prime, and obviously she can fucking go. But ever since 2019, I started watching her. She just washed, and she just does all this lucha superheat bullshit that I hate. There was actually a wrestler there that day. I don't know if she was like, James Boy here, I gotta give him some.
She was inspired by the presence.
I don't know, but like,
Dr. Josie was there live to assist.
He's stupid as hell. But this was honestly like the best I've ever seen her as far as like trying to do some actual wrestling in a match. Like, obviously she brought the chain out and used the chain and, got Juice and spit the red mist on Juice. Like, it was a bunch of that. But there actually was wrestling towards the end of the match. And, obviously the run-ins with, like, the partners and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, it wasn't a bad match. Like, and I gotta say, I was hating this match and writing it off the same way I write off all the Ozaki matches until the closing stretch. And the closing stretch, he actually gave me something. So, it avoided getting 1 star from me. It probably gets a 2.
Zach Porter says she knew, and Sir Sam says she listens. So shouts out to
there's no way she listens.
Ozaki, who has definitely listened to One Nation Radio,
right? For the like
buying the FOH under an alias,
Yeah, like for the what? How many times have we ever talked about Oz Academy on here? This is like the 3rd time ever. We've been doing the show for 10 years. Yeah.
I wish everyone listened to ONR Brewhaven one of these days.
Yeah. So. I skipped over it, but I went to the Stardom show, obviously. It was a very good show. I think that people have issues with the booking or trying to figure out, like, why did they do this at this particular time? And I think ultimately it's going to lead to people getting belts back or getting wins back, or this is setting the trail up for their 2023. So I'm willing to ride out with it. But, like, the opener with Azumi, it's a typical high-speed Azumi match. I saw Dave Meltzer give 4 stars, and I compare that to the other matches, the other Azumi matches that he's given 4 stars less to, and nah, this ain't no 4-star match. 3.5. I don't know what he was on that day, but no. Like, if you want to compare that match to that Natsupoi Budokan Hall match, no. But yeah, really good match. Really fun to finally see Azumi in person, and she's every bit as fast as she is on camera. She's a blur. But, trying to think what else happened on the show. The 3-way match for the number 1 contendership for the tag title match was good. Like, I gotta say, like, Natsuko, she's came back, like, she's not doing the evil dump Masamoto stuff, like, she gets her heat or whatever else, but it's not like, I just come out here and go through the motions and then grab a chain and take a DQ. Like, she's actually trying. Like, it was a lot like when the Budokan Hall match she had with, against Mahime with Saki, where it's like, oh shit, she's actually trying. Like, she's actually trying, and she's trying on a consistent basis now. Like, so like, and she's down the card now. Like, she's way more tolerable now. Way more tolerable. She's not even bad anymore. When she was actually trying to be bad. Like, so yeah, I'm really enjoying what her new role is, or new, like, or recalibration is on her character. So, you had the return of Mina, the return of Pink Kabuki, and...
Yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah, so, Tekla and Mai come out. They come out to Mai's music, which is like, okay. Like, come on now. We know who's
what are we doing here?
We know who's higher in the hierarchy here. It's not
y'all
like
trying to trick me,
right? It's not like neither one of us. It's not like neither one have a belt to like this to do the whole, So let's not even do that. So out comes Unagi, and then out comes Mina, and Mina has been playing this thing up for a minute. So I think some of the stuff that's lost on some people is that one, and she laid breadcrumbs down for this. Mina. At the press conference, or before the press conference, she had went on a trip. Like, she had packed the bags, whatever else, packed luggage, went on a trip because obviously her face is broken, and her teeth were knocked out, so she was off. And then like a couple days, and then like I think the next week she basically, like, the story is like she just came back from getting off the plane, and she shows up at a press conference and her face is wrapped. She looks like a mummy, right? The Mummy. So,
the Yeti.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So, Mina shows up at Sumo Hall, and she has the gear that she's worked at, her new gear from when she had her white belt challenge back in November, but she has like this. She has a mask on of like covering her face. So she gets the top of the ramp, takes off the mask, and is like, she looks exactly the same. Teeth look perfectly fine. Like, nothing ever happened to her. I will say it looks like she's lost some weight. I don't know if this because, like, had some work done, can't really eat, that sort of thing. I don't know. But she looks a little thinner in the face. So they had a match. It's a good match. At the end, I believe Mina ends up beating, I forgot who she pins, but Mina ends up winning. But at the entrance, she comes down, and she after that she brings with her Mariah May and Zaya Brookside, and I was like, okay,
what the fuck is going on?
Why are these two here? I didn't really think about it, and then they had a match, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then at the end, Mina gets on the mic and says something along the lines of, while you were gone doing your exhibition around the rest of the Joshi landscape since the Grand Prix, like, you weren't there for me and you haven't reached out to me since Kamatani knocked my teeth out. Like, man, what the fuck?
Unagi Sayaka, Hulk Hogan, not returning the phone calls.
Oh my god. So then Mina proceeds to like throw elbows to elbow Unagi over and over against the ropes. Waka runs in and breaks him up, and then Mina proceeds to say like my feelings are hurt, but like we're done with Pink Kabuki. I'm never tagging with you again. And like
a sad day.
Yeah, like I've grown to like them as a tag team, and like, you know, I was expecting to see them. I was like expecting to see them in Tag League this year, and then like Unagi does I'm doing my excursion thing, my Joshi excursion thing, and I was like, oh, that stinks. So, like, they're broken up, like, Unagi, you know, heads up the top of the ramp, and she cries. Mina's, like, crying on and off throughout this whole entire thing. They meet at the top of the ramp, and they're both trying not to cry and crying at the same time as they're breaking up, and it was a really sad moment. And it was like, yeah, man, like, they've grown on us, like, while watching them, like, they have grown on us and have, like, grown together, like, and became better wrestlers together. Like, with the whole Cosmic Angels trios, with them as a tag team, like, I wouldn't have been mad if they had became tag team champions eventually in like a year, in next year. I wouldn't have been mad at that at all.
Same.
Like I was fully expecting to see like Meltier versus Pink Kabuki tag team title match. I was